Hi, Ron. The people want to know, how long have you been arm wrestling for?
I started in 2000, really. There was actually a tournament in 1999 that was my first tournament, and it kind of got me interested in following up. So, but I officially and seriously went to my first tournament that started that career in 2000. So 26 years ago, basically.
And when did you win your first world championship?
World championship? 2009. I mean, I won gold medal world championships at Mohegan Sun and things like that. But in my opinion, when you don't have 40 countries converging, then I didn't really count those, even though I value my Mohegan wins and everything. But my first WAF World Championship was in 2009 in Italy, against, there were 1,600 competitors in 42 countries. It was a great big event. Yeah.
What was your favorite victory and against who?
Geez, there were so many because I knew that, early on in the Northeast, the first time I was able to beat Norman, 150.
Norm Devio?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Very
just
cool.
incredible man. But to be able to keep him out of his move and to take the victory that day made me feel like I'm on my way, I'm gonna get good at this type of thing.
How quickly did you realize you'd be good at the sport?
Oh, I don't ever think I felt that way. I just was, blessed with a whole crap load of victories in a row. I felt like, holy mackerel, how come I get to be the guy? And then it was like, how come I always get to be the guy? Which was kind of cool. But it was about, you work so hard and you sort of know that, it should pay off. And mostly it did.
It clearly has.
Yeah. And then other, wins like, I don't know, Cobra and stuff like that. Those were pretty.
Cobra Rhodes?
Yeah. He's, always very respected in the sport, when he was serious back in the day, and prepared,
Yeah, he was world class.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we all get older and things change, but that's for sure. That's for sure.
When did you start hosting practices?
Right in the beginning, I started going to practices and then training in between at the gym and at my home. And I did crazy things like building pegboards and hanging from the ceiling a lot and stuff. And within no time, it equated to victories at all these tournaments, because around the Northeast we had, the whole Northeast states. We had the Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts championships, Connecticut, New Jersey, New York. There was a lot of things you could do in arm wrestling. And I liked it back then. I got good at it, and I started traveling thinking about these tournaments as training for nationals and worlds. And I got to travel and hit all kinds of different arms. Then I went to the get-a-grip was the biggest thing on the East Coast. And it was in, South Carolina at the time or something. Very good tournament. All the big pullers from the South and Middle, down there. So it was a whole bunch of different guys. And it was fun to do that because back in the day, it wasn't all about the internet. So it was more like, who's that Indian feller? They were like just trying to piece it together and figure out why somebody from out of town is coming and doing so well, So that was pretty cool. That was how we used to get to know each other.
That is cool.
Now you pretty much know everybody before you meet them.
Yep.
Before you meet
It's
them.
a whole totally different culture.
Yeah, you see them pull, you see them interact. Yeah, different.
All right, last question for you. How many national and world titles do you have?
I went to Dayton, Ohio last month or week or something. It was recent. and won the left-handed class in the Grandmasters. That, I think, was my 57th first place national.
You said 57?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That is a high number.
I believe I was at 56. So, yeah, 57.
And how many world titles do you have?
Well, like I said, I value some more than others. I mean, I did win in Poland, right and left, and I had, I think 3 before that. In Poland in 19, but I stopped pulling early on, 2000. After 2011, I went out in Mesquite and then sort of just trained, did whatever I wanted to because I didn't really have anything to prove. And it wasn't a big, world of super matches and money matches and organizations that put together things that's more exciting for people other than the arm wrestlers,
Yeah.
People are starting to pay attention that aren't even arm wrestlers and will never arm wrestle. But that's good. Good for the sport, if I guess you get the money behind it, because then it starts being worth it, to train and get that good to beat anybody and everybody in the world, Kind of a big aggressive plan. But somehow when you put money behind it, people go, yeah, I'll do it,
More motivation.
They try. Back in the day, it was all about grit and stuff, and you never know who was going to show up at a major tournament or even at a certain thing. And it started getting more invitational with the showdowns and UAL putting on things where they'd bring us in, back in the day to Muscle Beach or something like that. That's pretty good stuff. John was always involved.
Brezink?
Yeah, with some ordeal. When we went to Muscle Beach, he was against Jerry. And Jerry beat him, I believe. It was back and forth. I believe Jerry beat him. You know about that, Nick?
Was it on the beach?
Yeah.
I think so. I remember.
I do believe I recall watching it.
It might have been 3-2 or 3-1. I don't know. But yeah, it was a good match. Yep.
I guess we could
Classic Jerry, though.
We could do one more question with you, and that would be, the culture is very clearly changing in the sport. In what ways do you see it being good and bad at the same time?
I don't know. It's certainly a question of a subjective answering, because it's not like everybody's answer will be the same. I don't think it's right or wrong.
But you are one of the people that has been in the sport some of the longest among all of the pullers and some of the most successful as well. Would you say that this whole new using the straps more often, these super match series, do you think this is a benefit to the sport, or do you think the more traditional tournament style was a better way of having people meet together and arm wrestle?
I think it's less important to be genuinely the best athlete, because you start getting more attention if you're popular.
Yeah.
So it kind of suggests that the best guy in the sport doesn't necessarily have to be the best arm wrestler in the sport. He just has to be the most valuable person to people that make money on this whole thing, or have a love for the sport and want to promote it. Because I know a lot of people are sacrificial when it comes to arm wrestling. With the host, it'll become a package that you can market, and that enough people can benefit. But like every sport, you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues and work your way. There's not enough recognition for everything. You get into the fighting field, it's very similar. I think back in the day, a lot more depended on, relied on your love for the sport as opposed to what the sport might do for you.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Ron.
All right.
And thank you all for watching.